Welcome to the Dominican Republic, yogis. Oh, it's so beautiful here, and I was so blessed to be able to do yoga by the ocean. So feel free to join me and maybe enjoy and indulge in the sounds of the sea. We'll start in child's pose. Find a comfortable child's pose. Maybe the knees are together if you want to open up the lower back, or maybe the knees are wide so that you can sink the chest towards the ground and really feel the breath through the front part of your body, letting the heart expand as you inhale. Wherever you are at, take a few more breaths, just relaxing in child's pose. And then go ahead and start to walk the fingertips forward, hips right over the knees, and open up the heart in puppy dog pose. Maybe the forehead rests on the ground, or maybe if you're already warmed up, the chest starts to connect with the ground. Go ahead and release, tuck the toes, and push back to down dog. Maybe walking out your dog if that feels good. Nice and slow, working with your breath. So inhaling one heel to the ground, exhaling the other, and then eventually finding stillness where both heels are evenly weighted towards the ground. It's okay if they don't connect. Take another breath, and then gently step forward on the exhale. Inhale to a flat back, and release, fold back out over the legs. Maybe wrap the hands around the elbows and give yourself a little sway side to side, or feel free to keep the knees bent. If you have really tight hamstrings and you're not quite warmed up, that's perfectly fine. On your next exhale, you're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, big shoulder roll, and then exhale, shoulders back down your back. Inhale towards the sky. Exhale, tap the thumbs in between the shoulder blades, and then back to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to chair pose. Sink the hips down and back. Engage the upper back to lift the arms high. If this is too much for you right off the bat, you can bring the arms so that they're parallel with the ground. And then rise back up and pick up one leg, finding your balance. Swing that knee out to the side and bring the inside of the foot to the inside of the thigh or the calf for tree pose. Maybe add a little side bend towards that bent knee if you'd like an extra challenge. Today is all about balance. Go ahead and take a side bend the other direction away from the knee. Notice how it feels when you move one way or the other. Do you feel more stable one way or the other? Release the foot, step back down, and exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, squeeze the abs so that you're supporting your lower back and not overarching through the lower back. And then rise up again, pick up the opposite foot, and swing the knee out to the side, finding tree pose on the other side. I will say this was very challenging for me because there was the tiniest bit of a slope, but good challenge. Find that side bend towards your knee again. And then when you're ready, center, and then bend to the other side. Go slow, maintain your balance. Center, and then release the knee, bringing the knee forward, engaging the abs, step together, and dive forward, forward fold. Rise up, chair pose again. Take a big inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, reach through the crown of the head. Try not to kink the back of the neck, and then release back to the toes. Exhale, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, big shoulder roll, and Then exhale, shoulder blades down the back, hands to your heart. Inhale up, mountain. Exhale, tap the thumbs in between the shoulders. Inhale, rise back up, and then fold forward, forward fold. Soften the knees, hips go down and back, find chair pose. Reach through the fingertips, make sure those arms are active. Even if they aren't rising towards the sky, still try to have long, strong lines of energy through the fingertips. Rise up and find your balance. Maybe adding a challenge by extending the leg instead of using just a bent knee. You have to use a lot of core strength for that. And then gently sweep the leg back and find warrior three. On your next exhale, step back into warrior one, landing softly, taking your time to readjust if you need to. Bringing your gaze up past your thumbs. Maybe you are outside in the sunshine as well. Close your eyes, feel the sun on your skin, and then release the hands and exhale, push back, down dog. Big breath here, lengthening through the lower back, reaching out through the tailbone. Knees can be bent if you have tight hamstrings, and then gently step forward on your next exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees and inhale, rise up to chair pose once again. Deep breath, reach through the fingertips, reach through the tailbone, and then come back up, and as you come to standing, pick up the opposite knee. Challenge yourself and try to extend that leg. Keep the leg parallel as much as you can with the ground, and then when you're ready, sweep the foot back, finding warrior three. Hands can be in prayer at your heart, or if it helps you with your balance, you can bring your hands out to the sides. Gently step back, find warrior one. Sink deep into the front leg. The back foot is connected with the ground, so the heel is on the ground, but don't let that hip start to roll open. Keep your hips square to the front of the mat. Gently release, and exhale, step back, downward dog. Big breath. Strong lines here. One long line from fingertips through tailbone, and another long line from heels out through the tailbone. Gently step forward on your next exhale. Inhale, half lift, and then release, forward fold. On your next exhale, squeeze the abs, roll up one vertebrae at a time, and then big inhale, shoulder roll, hands to your heart on the exhale. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, keep your elbows right by your ears as you tap the thumbs, and then back up to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hips down and back, hands reach up, chair pose. Hopefully now you're warm enough that you can take the full version of the pose, reaching the hands as much as you can towards the sky, and then standing up, finding your balance on one side. Extend the leg out, really squeezing with the quad, and then sweep it back, warrior three. It's okay if you wobble. Go ahead and open the hands to a T, and then we're going to roll open from warrior three into half moon, and gently step back, this time coming into warrior two. So warrior one, hips are pointed towards the front of the mat. Warrior two, the hips should be pointed towards the side of the mat. So you have a nice long flat body from your front knee to the back heel. Windmill the hands down and exhale, push back, down dog. Take a full breath here. And on your next exhale, gently step forward, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Oh, nope, just kidding, chair pose. Other side. Can't skip the other side, not yet. Rise up again, find your balance. Extend that leg with focus and purpose, and then allow it to sweep back as the body pendulums forward. Pretty sure I just made up that word. Open up the arms to a T and sweep your T wide and open as one hand comes to the ground for half moon. So you're really trying to keep the T as you twist open, and then soften the standing leg and step back, warrior two. Hips are in alignment, shoulders are in alignment, so that if you were to press your body in between two walls, no one shoulder or one hip would touch the wall because you're nice and flat like a pancake. Go ahead and windmill the hands down and step back, down dog. Big inhale. And on your next exhale, we'll bring it forward, forward fold. This time, half lift. Exhale, release. And on your next exhale, squeeze with the abs, curl up, nice and tall, big shoulder roll, and then hands to your heart. Inhale towards the sky, palms together. Keep the palms together as you tap the thumb towards your back to the sky, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, hips sink down and back. Hands rise, chair pose. Take a breath here, sink deep, and then rise up and bring one knee up, extending the leg, really squeezing with the abs, and then sweeping the leg back, warrior three. So this time, we'll step back into warrior one, so hips are square to the front again. Release the hands behind and interlock the fingers, and draw the knuckles down the back thigh, letting the heart rise up towards the sky. And then on an exhale, extend the front leg and hinge out over that front leg. So if pyramid is a little bit challenging for you, or if you notice you start to hyperextend your knee, release the hands and support yourself on either side of that leg. Go ahead and rise up to warrior one, and then on an exhale, step back, down dog. Inhale and exhale, step together. Chair pose, making your way to the other side. Inhaling in chair. And then on your next breath, rising up and picking up the opposite foot, extending it out in front, engaging abs and quad to keep the foot lifted, and then sweeping it back, warrior three. Pausing just for a moment and then gently stepping back to warrior one. Hands reach up first, and then keep that openness in the front of the body as the hands come behind, interlocking, opposite thumb on top, reaching first down the leg to open the heart, and then when you're ready, folding out over a straight front leg. Let the hands weigh heavy and maybe drop a little over your head if that's in your practice, in your range of motion for your shoulders. And then really soften the knee, warrior one. On an exhale, hands come back down to frame the foot and step back, warrior two. Big inhale, and then exhale, step together. Inhale, flat back, half lift, and then release. Take an inhale in your forward fold, and then exhale, curl up, grow tall, big shoulder roll, and then hands to your heart. Inhale, the hands up to the sky, and tap the thumbs in between the shoulder blades, opening up your triceps and your shoulders, and then release and fold forward on your exhale. Inhale, find chair pose. If you find chair pose is challenging, I encourage you to play with the distance between your feet and your knees. Maybe it will work better for you to have a wide-legged chair pose. If you haven't already, go ahead and work through your standing postures to come into warrior three. And then we'll open our hands to a T and roll the body open, stacking shoulders and hips to come into half moon. Exhaling gently, stepping back, warrior two. Big inhale, and on your exhale, reverse your warrior, keeping the bent leg, the front leg, deep in that bend. And then with purpose, extend the front leg, shift the hips towards the back leg, reach forward and find triangle pose. Focusing not just on stretching the legs and not just on opening that top side, but really try to consciously lengthen the bottom side as well. Exhale, come back to warrior two. And then when you're ready, windmill the hands down to the ground and step back, down dog. Now it looks like paradise, but the sun is very intense. And I was getting a little overheated, so I took a couple extra breaths here in down dog to let my heart rate settle and take a few exhales with an open mouth to release that heat. But we're going to jump back into it, so stepping forward, forward fold, and then inhaling, rising up, chair pose. When you're ready, standing, finding your balance, extending that front leg, that floating leg, and then sweeping it back, starting with warrior three. And then this side was much more challenging because of the angle of the slope, but opening up the arms to a T, and then stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips, coming into half moon. Trying not to fall into the very rocky shoreline that's right behind me. Gently step back, warrior two, and on your next exhale, we'll reverse your warrior. Back hand draws down the back leg, no pressure on your knee. And then with intention, extend the front leg and hinge forward, reaching with that front arm. Reach, reach, reach. And then at the last moment, tilting the arms to find triangle. Big breath in triangle. Finding stability, and then bring the hands back to parallel, squeeze the core and come up to upright, bending the front leg, warrior two. On your exhale, windmill the hands down and step back to down dog. Only one breath there, exhaling, stepping forward, inhale, flat back, exhale, release, take an inhale for stillness, and then exhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Big shoulder roll. Should feel like a nice massage as you roll up. Hands reach towards the sky on the inhale. Tap the thumbs in between the shoulders on the exhale. Back to the sky and then fold forward. On your inhale, hips sink down and back. Hands rise, firing up your core, which is your legs and your abs, engaging even the back, which I also think of as your core. Rise up, pick up one knee, and then this time we're going to switch it up just a little bit. So if you can, grab a hold of the big toe, stand up as upright as you can, and start to extend the floating leg. If you need to keep the knee bent, totally fine. And then let's sweep that floating leg out to the side. And when you're ready, soften the knee and bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the thigh or calf like we did at the beginning of class, and find tree pose. Now try to keep that floating foot off the ground as you bring the knee back in front. If you need to tap it down, it's okay. We're going to grab a hold of the big toe again and extend the leg forward. This time we're going to add a twist. So bring the opposite hand to the outside edge of the foot and then rise up so that you're twisted towards that front leg or towards the side of that front leg. And I'm really trying not to fall into the ocean, so very wobbly for me. Hopefully you're a little bit more steady. If you're not, it's totally okay. All right, go ahead and release the foot to the ground. Inhale, hands to the sky and tap the thumbs. Back to the sky, exhale, fold. Inhale, starting with chair pose. And I do believe this side I was even more wobbly, so hopefully you're feeling really good about yourself right about now. From chair pose, rise up, opposite knee comes up, grabbing a hold of the big toe when you're ready, focusing really on keeping the body upright, nice and tall, and then if you can, extend the leg. If you start to hunch over in order to reach the toe, then maybe grab a strap or just grab a hold of your ankle or keep the knee bent. Really focus on staying upright. And then again, sweeping the leg out to the side. You can do this with a bent knee. You can always just grab the bent knee and open up the knee to one side, opposite hand to the other side. And then wherever you're at, find tree pose. Bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the calf or the thigh. Pause here for a moment. Feel the stability of tree pose. And then when you're ready, bring the knee back out in front. Grab a hold of the big toe and extend. And then let's try that twist again. Reaching for the outside of the foot and twisting towards the floating leg. And struggling like I am. That's okay. We grow when we struggle. All right, release, and let's go ahead and flow from tall mountain forward to forward fold. Feel free to pause and practice that more if you'd like, if you are on a nice level surface. If you'd like to move forward, let's find chair pose again. Rise up, knee comes out in front. And then extend the leg, continue to engage the core, sweep it back, warrior 3. Big inhale, and exhale gently, step back, warrior 1. Hands reach up towards the sky, again, maybe feeling the sun on your face, or feeling the metaphorical sun on your face. This time when we release the hands, we'll sweep the elbows in front and find eagle arms. Reach the elbows towards the sky. Notice how that feels in your back. And then fold forward, letting the shoulder rest right next to your knee. So you're not resting on the leg, you're really hovering right next to that front leg. Rise back up. Uncross the arms, reach back up to the sky, warrior 1. And then release to the ground and step back, down dog.
You got something?
Big inhale. And then on your next exhale, step forward. Sink the hips down and back, chair pose. And then rise up. And let's try that on the other side. So maybe extending that leg, maybe you're starting to feel a little fatigued in your quads, so maybe you just want to focus on keeping the knee bent and then kicking the foot back to warrior 3. Soften the front knee and gently step back, warrior 1. Reach first towards the sky, and then when you're ready, sweeping the elbows forward, opposite elbow on top this time, and reaching the elbows towards the sky. On your next exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward, resting or hovering right next to the inside of the knee. Maybe the fingertips from eagle arms can tap the ground. Maybe you can plant your forearms on the ground. Gently rise back up and release the arms, warrior 1. Big inhale and exhale, release, step back, down dog. Big inhale, reset in your down dog, and then step forward. Inhale, half lift, and release, forward fold. Take a breath, and then exhale, massage your spine as you roll up. Big shoulder roll in the inhale, and then exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach towards the sky. Exhale, tap. Back to the sky. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, chair pose. My, oh my, there's a lot of chair poses in this class. No wonder I was starting to sweat so much in the sunshine. Rise up, bring the knee with you, extend the leg, and then float it back, warrior three. Nice flat line from the crown of your head out through the heel. Open the arms to a T and sweep the shoulders and hips so that they stack. And then gently step back, warrior two. Always adjusting after that transition to make sure that your feet are in alignment. Front heel is intersecting with the arch of the back foot. And then take that front arm and reach in between the shoulder blades. Maybe you can reach with the bottom arm and hook the fingertips. And then lean back like you would in reverse warrior, really opening up that top side. Go ahead and release and find extended side angle. So you can modify both of those, first by using a strap, and for extended side angle by keeping the elbow on the knee. Wherever you are, gently release and come back to down dog. Big inhale and exhale, step forward. Inhale, chair pose. Here we go again. One breath in chair pose, and then come up to standing, bringing the opposite knee with you. Maybe you extend the leg, maybe you don't. Everyone floats that foot back, warrior three. Nice flat body, strong standing leg. Open up the arms and then rotate everything open. On your next exhale, soften the standing knee and step back, warrior two. That front arm, when you're ready, reaches up and over the head, tapping in between your shoulder blades. And reaching with the opposite hand, hooking the fingers, leaning back, basically into reverse warrior, but with cow face arms. Gently release the hands as you hinge forward, coming into extended side angle. As you can see, I'm taking the more traditional Ashtanga version with the hand on the outside of the foot, but you can always bring the hand to the inside of the foot, or again, elbow to knee. Rise back up, warrior two, and then exhale, flow back to down dog. Inhale, reset, exhale, step forward. Inhale, flat back, and then fold. On your next exhale, curve up, nice and slow, no rush. Inhale, big shoulder roll. Open up the heart and then hands to your heart center. Inhale up. Exhale, tap. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Now, I do believe this is our final chair pose. So we're going to hold it for an absurd amount of time. But I want you to really focus on making it your deepest and best effort in chair pose, because it is the last one. I know you're so thankful. Exhale, fold, forward fold, inhale, flat back, and release. Now, just because we're not doing chair doesn't mean we don't have some intensity coming up. So from down dog, let's go ahead and roll our feet over to one side and find side plank, squeezing the obliques of that bottom side to lift the hips high. If you'd like an extra challenge, maybe bring up the foot to tree, and then let's all step that top foot behind us and open up the body for wild thing. When you're ready, the front foot is going to step all the way forward into a high lunge with both hands on the inside of the foot. Gently drop your knee to the ground and find lizard pose. So if you'd like, you can stay up on your hands or you can come down onto the elbows like I am. Either way, really focus on having a nice flat back rather than collapsing forward. Release and push the hips back. Hands on either side of that front foot, half splits. long, strong front leg. If this is too much for you and your hamstrings, you can always grab blocks. And then bend the front leg and pick the back knee up off the ground. And we're going to roll our weight onto the outside edge of the back foot and then try to pick up the front toes and come into side plank again. Maybe you can keep the yogi toe lock, maybe not, no worries. We'll all find down dog together. Take a breath, and then when you're ready, we'll do it on the other side. So rock over onto the outside edge of the other foot, maybe finding the tree pose variation of side plank. And then everyone will step that top foot behind you for Wild Thing, opening up the heart and the hips towards the sky. And then the back leg is going to step all the way to the front of your mat. And when you're ready, soften the knee to the ground, the back knee, and maybe fold deeper towards the ground by coming to your elbows. But again, if you notice that your upper back is really rounding when you come down onto the forearms, maybe feel free to stay on the hands and focus on lengthening the spine in lizard pose. Let's all release and push the hips back, extending the front leg, coming into half splits, finding the version that works for you. So maybe you walk the hands a little farther forward like I did, or maybe you grab your blocks. Now pick up the back knee, and we are going to try that transition to side plank again, keeping your hold on the big toes. Squeeze with your core, lift your hips, and then release and push back to down dog. That is a transition that I have been working on for a while, and it's still very much a work in progress, but I used to not be able to do that at all, so I'm very happy that it's something that I'm working on and finding progress. All right, so let's find side plank again, maybe adding those tree legs. And once again, let's find our Wild Thing, maybe noticing that the fingertips can come closer to the ground. And when you're ready, stepping that top foot or the foot that was behind you in Wild Thing forward and find lizard pose again. So one of the reasons I like to repeat poses or repeat sequences is because now you can find a much deeper or attempt a much deeper version of lizard. So maybe walk the fingertips forward like I did, or don't, totally up to you. Instead of half splits, walk your foot, the front foot, to the opposite edge of the mat and drop the shin to the ground so that you're in pigeon pose. Now you can come into any variation that you like. I am working towards king pigeon. So to do that, I'm going to stay upright and really focus on opening up the quad, dropping the hips towards the ground, maybe playing with mermaid, hooking the toes into the elbow and binding. But listen to your body and what it needs. If you need more of a hip opener, then just gently fold forward. We'll go ahead and pick up the back knee and find your high lunge again, rotating onto the outside edge of both feet and dropping the hips to the ground for a nice deep hip stretch on the side of the back leg. And then let's try a transition to side plank again, this time unsupported, so the leg is floating. And then release and push back, down dog. Take one more inhale, and then exhale. Side plank, opposite side. Maybe trying for those tree legs, opening up your hip, and then taking the top foot and stepping behind you for Wild Thing, noticing the fingertips getting a little bit closer to the ground, or maybe coming into full wheel if that's in your practice. Wherever you are, go ahead and take that top leg or the leg that was behind you in Wild Thing and step it forward for lizard. Taking this opportunity, second time around, to reach a little bit deeper. maybe walking the fingertips farther forward, allowing the upper body to come more towards the ground, keeping your bent knee towards the sky. Wherever you're at, come back up to upright onto the hands, heel toe the foot to the opposite edge of the mat, and gently lay the shin down so the shin is pretty parallel with the front of the mat. If this is too much for you on your knee, you can always take reclining pigeon instead, or walk the heel much closer to your hip. Just like we did on the other side, it's your choice. You can fold forward and focus on the hip opener, focus on opening the glutes, or you can focus on the back bend and maybe working towards mermaid, or maybe flipping your grip and just pushing the foot towards your hips. Lots and lots of options. Pigeon is actually one of my favorite poses for that reason. There's so many different fun variations you can try. Wherever you are at, gently release. Knee pops up, foot to the ground, roll to the outside edge of both feet, letting the hips drop towards the ground, opening up the hip of the bottom side. And then again, trying that transition to side plank, floating the leg as high as you can, and then release, push back, down dog. So just because there's no chair pose doesn't mean we have stopped working. This might be even harder than chair. Are you missing chair pose? Well, we are going to make a transition now to much more relaxed poses. So go ahead and soften the knees to the ground, find child's pose, catch your breath. You can curse me a little bit for the number of chairs that we did. It's fine. I don't blame you. So we'll take another couple of breaths in child's pose. Just recover and recenter yourself. And then when you're ready, walk yourself up to upright. And however works for you, we're going to come to a seated position so you can cross the ankles and roll back over the ankles or swing the legs out to the front. Wherever you're at, gently roll back onto your back and walk the feet in so that the heels are close to your hips and you can barely brush the heels with your fingertips. When you're ready, roll the spine up off the ground, coming into bridge pose, pushing the hips towards the sky, keeping the neck neutral, so making sure you're not looking side to side, and making sure you're not collapsing the chin to the chest either. Gently roll back down. Give yourself a gentle twist side to side. Feet are wide towards the edges of your mat. You just windshield wiper the knees. And then come back to center. Walk the feet back towards your heels and rise up again. Now, if you didn't the first time, you can interlock the fingers and roll the shoulders open. Or you can walk the feet in a little bit more and try to grab around the ankles with your hands. And that will get you into a much deeper back bend than just traditional bridge. On an exhale, roll down one vertebrae at a time. Take that same windshield wiper twist, the knees to either side. And then come back to center. And we're going to take it up one more time. If wheel is in your practice, fantastic. Hands above the head, push up into wheel. If that is not in your practice, feel free to stick with one of the two bridges that we did before. Or maybe if you have a block handy, you want to do a restorative bridge and put the block under your hips. Wherever you're at, gently roll back down. Bring your knees to your chest. Give yourself a rock side to side, or just give yourself a steady hug. And then let's go ahead and release the hands on either side of your hips. Extend the feet towards the sky. And if it's in your practice, we're going to bring the heels all the way over the head, coming into plow. If this is not in your practice, or if you have any neck problems, just keep the hips on the ground and the feet straight to the sky so that you're making the shape L with your body. From plow, support yourself on your lower back with your hands and come into shoulder stand. If you really enjoy inversions, feel free to press pause and stay in shoulder stand for a little bit longer. Otherwise, drop the toes back over the head in plow and slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Once the feet touch the ground, pop up onto your elbows and gently drop the crown of your head towards the ground for the opposing pose, fish pose. So plow has a tendency to put a lot of pressure on your neck, and plow opens it in the opposite direction to open your throat. Wherever you're at, let's go ahead and close with a couple of twists. So you can bring the hands to a T and gently drop the knees to one side. Gaze is looking the other direction. Use your breath to release into the twist. When you're ready, making your way to the other side. So what I mean by that is take an inhale, but on your exhale, relax and also squeeze with the abs, which will help you support the spine in the twist. Go ahead and come back to center. Open up the knees and bring the thighs on the outsides of the ribs and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then release. And let's go into Shavasana. Now, we are going to be in Shavasana for a couple of minutes. 2 comments. If there's anything that we didn't do today, which I feel like we did a lot, but maybe there's a particular pose you really like to close with, maybe you'd like to go back to trying another inversion, feel free to do that now. Go ahead and press pause and come back. If you are pooped like I am from all those chairs, go ahead and relax in Shavasana and feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Like I said, we'll be here for a couple of minutes, but you are more than welcome to stay much longer. For the next couple of minutes, I want you to just listen. Listen to the sounds of the sea. Maybe you are in a place listening to this video, watching this video, and there are a lot of exterior sounds as well. That's perfectly fine. I want you to allow your mind to be curious. What is it hearing? Why is it hearing that? Do those sounds evoke any kind of emotion? Just sit and turn on your sense of hearing and listen, and let your body block away any other thoughts or concerns or worries, and just be curious about the sounds that you hear. I will let you sit with that for a few more moments. Please feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you need to. Otherwise, if you are ready to move, slowly start to reawaken the body. Maybe wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, windshield wiper hands and knees. Whatever little movements help you reconnect with your body. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to come up to a seated position, finding a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to your heart center when you're ready. Thank you so much for practicing with me today and sharing this beautiful view. Namaste.